Hello. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Excellent. Welcome back
Hello, everyone.
to VetScope,
To VetScope.
an independent podcast brought to you by Guardian Veterinary that explores the realities of the veterinary industry.
Wow. That sounded good.
Thanks.
Yeah. I knew you would come up with something.
How did it sound, guys?
I knew you'd come up with something. That's why when you kept asking my opinion, I was like, you got this. You'll figure it out.
Get ready to pause and reflect on an incredible world of animal medicine with VetScope, the perfect podcast brought to you by Guardian Veterinary Specialists. You'll hear from the passionate professionals who dedicate their lives to saving our furry friends and enjoy insightful discussions, hearty laughs, and fun facts that'll leave you barking for more.
Hell yeah.
Is that too much puns?
Well, I mean, is that I'm assuming that's what's going in the description.
That's kind of a short description. There's a kind of a longer one. But,
okay, but that wouldn't be every episode. We're not like...
No, but I can definitely do that for, kind of the first one maybe as the intro is like, hey, this is what we are kind of thing. And then
I see. Well,
I'm thinking about canning some intros to the episodes we've already recorded. Folks, if you're joining us for the first time, we are here at the end of our very first season of producing this podcast.
End or beginning? Did the end already happen? It's like, yeah. I feel like this is the re-beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the beginning.
The beginning. I can't even. I feel like we got through whatever it was. It was 4 like official episodes. It was really like 6 episodes. But that was really trying to discover from my end, how to shoot it, from your end, how to record it.
Yeah.
We had to make a lot of mistakes. This room, obviously, I'm sure you can hear it in almost every episode, including this one, that there's a very low hum, which is because our entire HVAC unit for the entire hospital is on the other side of this wall here.
A lot of the technical stuff of, there's a huge window on this side, specific types of lights, the sound of the humming, a lot of technical things of trying to capture what we're trying to capture here, right, so that you can see and hear as well, but still avoid, all of this kind of extra stuff.
Yeah. And then on top of, trying to figure out schedules with getting people in here as guests, who do we even want to have on here? Who even wants to be involved? Because there's 200 plus employees here. So that's another thing we're still kind of like working through. The name, which we've changed now like 3 or 4 times. But officially now it is VetScope. Everybody's on board with that name, including Jason, Marianne, all the important people.
Yeah. We got Jason in here. We have some doctors. We had a lot of the leadership. We had a counselor. We had technicians. We had interns.
Yeah.
We've had an interesting. I call it a season, but the first exploratory surgery.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a season, because then when GVS Con was like slowly approaching, we really kind of backed off from doing this, just because there was just too much to concentrate on, while also trying to figure this out, while also trying to set that up and make sure that was going well and was going to kind of unfold in the way you wanted it to. And so this kind of got put on the back burner a little bit. So it feels like a reopening, a restart to the whole thing. And hopefully now we'll kind of be on a decent roll. Hopefully we've kind of figured out the setup and the recording and all the things. And then we can start getting people in here again. But I think that's kind of what we're going to talk about today is what are we doing going forward? How can we make this a better experience for the viewer or listener?
Right.
What do they even actually want to hear? Because I talked about this with you the other day, because I was like, maybe you guys can let us know in the comments and whatnot. Is it weird that neither one of us is actually in the veterinary field, right, doing the medical stuff anyway? As the viewer, is it kind of like, what do these guys know? But we've still kind of talked, and we talked about it when I mentioned that. It's like, we're supposed to be giving the outsider's point of view,
right,
and getting the answers in on the other end from whoever the guests are.
Right. We become the surrogate for the large portion of the audience who's not in the medical field. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of viewers and listeners who are in the veterinary medicine, doctors, techs, etc. But a large portion of our clients, people just interested and curious about what happens here, just like you and I. You know, like when we go upstairs and see a surgery happening, it's brand new, it's fresh, it's interesting, sometimes most of the time graphic for surgery anyway, but like, you know, neuro and derm and you know, all these different specialties, and you know, cutting edge medical field things are even more novel for people like you and I who are not in it all the time, who are not seeing cases, doing lectures, you know, all that stuff. So
right, yeah. I mean, I've been here going on this fall, after summer will be my 5th year, and I'm still like learning new stuff all the time.
Right.
So I can see how it would be important for us to kind of discuss things,
right,
so that we get the answers, we learn something, but also we can share that with people who are also in the same boat as us. When, for all that I've learned here, if I had to bring my animal to here or any other hospital, I would still know nothing. You know what I mean? Like, in comparison to what is, I might be able to say, like, I think maybe this is happening.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be whatever the doctors, the techs, whoever you know, presents to me.
And hopefully whoever we get in as our guests are
filling that gap.
Exactly. For those audience members who are in that medical industry and the field, you know, what does the doc have to say? What somebody who is about to become, go on their externship or internship or do their rotation and things like that, what kind of insight can we bring, you know, for those people? So,
And then, you know, and then we've talked about having guests who are relative to the veterinary field, but not necessarily in the veterinary field, like the Wolf Conservation Center.
Right.
Rebecca's her name, right?
Yep.
Rebecca, we want to get her in here because it's still, they want to work with us in the sense of like hoping that our doctors can kind of help them when they're in need, especially since we're so close. But at the same time, they're conservationists, they're working with wolves. It kind of direct cousin of the dogs we see. And so they kind of still fall into that space.
Right. And there's still animals that need medical care. Like, it's still, you know, it's still
they need us.
They
do, like, they need us and other hospitals that they work with. So it still falls in our range of things. The ambulance service, who we've mentioned before, they absolutely want to get in here.
Right, exploring the other realities of the industry, and again, not just to the doctors and the techs, the assistants and the CCRs, but also the clients, the people who own the pets, the people who come in. Did I break it? The people who come in and kind of fuel the industry in a way, you know?
Right.
Hopefully, we bring the insights, you know, those kind of behind the scenes stuff we were talking about. Like insurance companies maybe saying a piece. We talked about Heals, which is a non-for-profit that helps families who can't afford the services. You know, again, little small pockets of the realities of the entire industry. But still wanted to make it industry, like wanting to make it interesting beyond an interesting conversation.
Right.
So thinking about, I've been brainstorming some maybe little segments that we could do. And also arm our guests with some, like, okay, here's some of the things we're going to cover throughout the stuff. Also trying to make it fun, a little more engaging. So
I feel like, and I kind of was going to bring this up, but since we're already kind of there, I feel like some of the things we kind of messed up on, which we've also talked about, but with past episodes, but things we were almost like, it seemed to me anyway, like looking back in some moments and in some episodes, we were like, almost, it felt advertising, felt markety. You know, and like, we don't want to do that. We knew from the beginning we didn't really want to do it. We don't need to push that Guardian's great. We do that in
so many other
ways. Like, and so the
like,
purpose,
comment, subscribe.
And the purpose of this is not to do more of that. It's not just
Correct.
to advertise Guardian. It's to talk about the industry. And so we're going to try to do our best to push away from being like, Guardian, so great. We're so great. Love us. Come here. You know, bring your pet here. We do that. If you're here already viewing this, it's
Yeah.
because you already know that.
That
Like,
being said, this wasn't from like I'm the marketing guy, and I did not instruct any of our guests to talk
yeah,
about
no, it wasn't. Yeah.
Guardian in that way. So there's something to be said about so many of the employees having that mindset
Right, yeah.
of wow, it's actually really nice. These are the nice things I'm noticing about my place of employment. So
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, it definitely was never a thing that we pushed. Like, let's make sure we mention that Guardian's so great.
No.
Actually, it was the opposite. Everybody that sat in the chair, we were like, listen, we're not here to talk about how great Guardian
Right.
is. We're here to talk about the industry, things you want to see change, things that you're doing to make change, things that that you notice in the industry.
And maybe again, like I said, I'm the marketing guy. So like, oh, you're gonna come do this thing. Maybe they're
The
doing it
prerequisite
themselves,
mindset
right?
was like,
Exactly.
oh, we have to push Guardian. Right.
Yeah. So hopefully we can, hopefully we can start to steer the conversation a little bit with some of these segments. My first thought was like, what makes you interesting? Which sounds not the best way to compliment somebody, but
It makes you so interesting.
why are you even here?
Why do you think you're so great?
Instead of tell us your name and title, right? What is the thing that makes you interesting? I'm sure there's a better way.
I was going to say there might be a better way to kind of what makes you interesting is, I mean, we could figure something out. But I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, because that was another thing we kind of ran into. It became hour-long episodes of Who Are You?
Right.
It's just an interview at that point. It's not a podcast.
I need that
it's not
to take
a discussion.
60 seconds,
Right.
It's
Who are you?
It's a one sentence of why the audience member wants to listen in on this conversation.
Right. It made sense with Jason.
Yeah.
Because, and not that to take it away from anybody else, but it made sense with Jason because it's like, we wouldn't even be here if Jason didn't do all this.
Right. Well, he wanted this project. So.
Right. And then so it was like, let's get to know Jason a little better. I mean, we learned things about Jason.
Yeah.
That, we wouldn't have, and whoever saw that episode learned things, and it gives you a greater connection to him, and that's great. But I feel like with everybody else, even if he comes back on the episode, we definitely don't need to do another oh, this is our fearless leader.
Right, exactly.
He did this, that, and the other thing. It's like, let's just go into, what we're here to discuss today or whatever.
Right. And I mean, with the power of editing, from my perspective, I think we had a very successful first season, our run of gathering content, evolving our station here. Now, I think we figured out a system a little bit.
It might not look exactly the same every time, but it'll be.
This has been the most consistent for the past 3 recording sessions. Right. So I think we figured out something better. Another segment here. Check the pulse. Again, trying to write in the idea that our name is VetScope. It's the idea of the veterinary industry having a stethoscope, listening into the heartbeat, which is the people. Cool insights or a relatable story for whoever the guest is. Fact or fiction. We can even do audience-generated questions.
Yeah.
Like FAQs.
We would need a little more traction.
We would need to pull in and then let people know who's coming. So what questions do you have for so-and-so? So that's something I'm thinking about, being able to lay out the tracks to the future.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Known issues, right?
Right. I was going to say, but honing in on a thing, right? Like, what's up with that? Why do we do this thing? Or why does this happen? Why does this seem to happen a lot?
And that question, I feel like could lead to a lot of different things depending on who we're talking, a doctor will have a different insight
for sure
to an issue than a technical.
So how do you think we go about that? I like that one more than the rest of the ones you said.
What's up with that?
I kind of get the thing with the rest of them, but that one specifically, it's like, are we going to just have a literal 10-minute, 20-minute segment, whatever it is, where it's like, it cuts to that and we're like, so what's up with that? And then we bring a topic up where it's like, we see this a lot, or we hear this a lot, or we went to 20 techs here and asked them what they thought in the industry stands out the most as what is up with that? Like, why does this happen?
A little peek behind the curtain. It allows us to do a cut very quickly in any spot where we're like, okay, we can edit the rest of this, like the meat of the conversation was really in this piece.
Right.
And then, we can build an audio and visual segment to cut into, what's up with that?
Right.
And then
I've seen and heard a lot of podcasts kind of literally, can they keep it on the segment? They'll just be like, all right, well, let's move on to the next thing. And they're like, we're going to move on to what's up with that?
Right.
And it's like, once after a couple episodes, like, oh, this is my favorite segment.
This is going to come up.
And I feel like, specifically just with that, because it's the only thing we've kind of touched on so far, is like that should be like a middle segment. Because if it's the beginning, if you love that segment, you're going to listen to that and then forget the rest of the episode.
It's break the monotony. Like I said, the conversations are interesting, but at the end of the day, they are just like conversation. You're just sitting around a table and having this talk here. So it can feel a little extended. So that gives us something to a timestamp. That gives us, like you said, the audience something to look for through like a thread through different guests. Is that we'll ask these questions and do those things.
Right.
Just thinking about ways to build the production to make it more interesting for the audience and also make it easier for the guest who's coming in to already know what we're going to be talking about.
Right.
That might be, again, the issue of like, I don't know what to talk about. Let me just talk about myself or my resume.
And then whatever questions we come up with, but again, it's just a conversation. We're not directing ourselves towards anything.
And then the last segment I was thinking about, then we might figure out some other ones. But now kind of where my head's at. Is it just me or...
I like that. Yeah. Honestly, that could I might steal that and like bring that upstairs with just like the quick pieces I make where it's like I just like walk up to people and I ask them like to just give me an answer on a question.
Right.
Like common problems we have with Frenchies, this, that, or whatever. But yeah, I do like that too. But that kind of falls in line with what's up with that. I like these. I didn't have anything planned for that kind of thing because I have more questions than I feel like I have answers about.
So like
how to go
the
forward.
what's up with that would be known issues in the industry, which we can get from them. We can ask like what are issues that you can think about that we can bring up in this particular segment. The is it just me or was really like we talked about, we're lay people. We're not medical trained or experienced, right? So this is something a little bit about our observations contrasted with their actual experience. Like, is it just me or is this thing like is it literally just me or is it like just chaos or is it just me or is it always hard to figure out what you want for lunch? Is it just me or
right yeah, and I get it, but like directed more in I see what you're saying. Yeah, that does make sense. I'm trying to even think like immediately in my
is
brain.
It just me or do you really want to cuddle a cute kitten every time it comes through? Like,
I think that across the board that's most people would be like hell yeah. Yeah, and like, but even like going deep into things, it's like there could even be a question like, is it just me or do things sometimes seem to be more expensive than they should be, or like,
is it just me or is ER always busy on Friday?
Right? Yeah, actually a good is it just me? Yeah. It's like, is it just me or is there weeks where the same breed of dog comes in? Like because
that's interesting.
That I know for sure that happens. Like it's even they say it all the time upstairs. They're like it's a lab week, or it's
is it just me or is it a lab week?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a Frenchie week. Like it's that I think that for sure could always just keep going. Yeah.
So that one a little bit more like from our perspective versus the known issues is like a guest generated question.
Right.
And then fact or fiction was audience generated. So I'm trying to like figure out different.
So in the comments, hit us with is it just me or and lay out your question, comment, fill in the space statement, or what's up with that, and then hit us with something, a few things, and hopefully we'll be able to touch on most of these things. I know we did this already. So if you were watching this again and we kind of like asked you guys to give us topics to talk about, but I feel like this is a little different.
This is a little
having
more,
a directed topic is different than being like.
Yes, we're evolving.
We're trying anyway.
Yeah. Season 2 is going to be a little more directed. Yes.
Hopefully, yeah.
And keep out on your different podcast indications. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we'll be available on places like iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah. How did I wasn't there for the meeting? How many names did you get before we got to VetScope? You said there was a lot, right?
There was a very long list. Definitely over 30. I want to say 40 something.
Oh my god.
40 something.
I'm so glad I
names.
wasn't at that meeting.
Some of those names were full on sentences.
Oh. I wish you had a list of them.
There was a bunch of them that that we're just shoehorning Guardian Veterinary, the name, into it too.
Right, which we made a point saying that
right.
it's a podcast by Guardian.
Right.
We don't have to put Guardian in it.
Little redundancy is a little much. Even for me, the marketing guy.
Yes. Again, I feel like that falls in line with like everybody gets it. We're great.
Yeah.
You know?
There was a lot of good ones. Some of them were out there. Pets, Vets, and Mindsense was my personal favorite.
I did like that. Yeah, I did like that one. But I get it. VetScope's a little short and sweet. It kind of puts the scope onto exactly what we're probably going to talk about. But I thought Pets, Vets, and Mindsets did the same thing.
Yeah. So I was trying to,
I'm not going to harp on it, but I did like that name.
So we get to zoom in, listen into the heartbeat, find other ways to pun on scope.
Yeah.
Check it out.